beautiful?
I'm sorry, I'm 8 minutes late.
That's okay. You're the queen, so you can be late.
Please forgive me. How are you today?
Good. How are you, queen? I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody out there.
Yes. They've been sending me messages like, oh, I love Lunell. That's my auntie. I said, she mine too.
I'm the world's auntie. I have 17 nieces and nephews in real life.
Oh, and me in real life too.
And
you just added me too. So I'm so excited to have you. Thank you for taking the time during this time to talk to us today, Miss Lunell. So I first want to get into, so May is Mental Health Month. How are you protecting your mental health during this pandemic?
You know, I think that rest is good for my mental health because this is the first time in my career and in my marriage that I've had 3 months, almost 3 months to just chill. Right. You know, no planes, no shows, unfortunately, no, no clubbing, nowhere to really go. And I think that rest has been good for my mental health and being at home and nesting, getting to enjoy being at home. Not having to eat on the plane, not having to eat in the airport, and everybody grows up and says, oh, I can't wait until I can just eat at fancy restaurants. I'm going to eat out all the time. That's good unless you have to do that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for weeks at a time. It's not good. So I'm glad to be home. The rest is good for me.
That's amazing. You have a new show. You started a show during this quarantine called Hey Lunell. You use it for different other shows as well. But talk to us a little bit about your show that you do. You also have an IG Live series that you have weekly, I believe, and you have mini-sodes on the weekends. Talk to us about that show. It's on YouTube, right, as well?
Yes. If anybody follows me on my Instagram, you can just click the link in the bio and it'll take you straight to my YouTube show, which will be live today in 3 hours. California time, it'll be 3 o'clock. It's from 3 to 4 p.m. Central time is 5 to 6, and on the East Coast is 6 to 7. And I started the platform on the suggestion of my friend Flame Monroe, who people saw on Tiffany Haddish's They Ready. Flame suggested that I should do a YouTube show. And I think that is very important during the quarantine for us to stay engaged with our fans because they're the people who followed you. They're the people who bought tickets to come see you. They're the people who, sometimes pray for you and pull for you. Right. And so I started the show and we keep it pretty light. We always have a quarantini. Yeah. I usually do edible of the week. Yes. And then the mini-sodes that we've started doing is just some little teaser to keep you from having to wait all the way till next Wednesday. Of course, I do enough lives for people to see, I'm live from the bathtub, I'm live from the kitchen, I'm live in the bed. So I just try to stay engaged with the people during this time.
And I think it was a few weeks ago, your dog had a poop under the table and you stepped in it? Oh.
That was last week's episode. That is not my dog. That is my daughter's dog. I'm the dog's grandma, and she had left me a little present under the table, and I'd be barefoot most of the time around the house, and I'm just talking all of a sudden, and it's all on the last episode. If you see me in an episode like this, I think it's the Enough is Enough episode on YouTube. You'll see my reaction, and you'll actually see the dog because I brought her little ass on camera too.
That was hilarious. I was like, oh my God, that was funny. Let's go back, Lunell, to the beginning. So you were born in Arkansas, the youngest of 8, 3 sisters, 4 brothers. Is that right?
Yes.
Talk to us, and then you grew up in Oakland. Talk to us about what your childhood was like.
Well, my childhood was very lonely because I wasn't raised with my brothers and sisters. All 7 of them were raised in the South, and I was raised in California, in Oakland and the suburbs, Castro Valley. I was raised as the only child through a series of horrible circumstances. My father was murdered when my mother was pregnant with me. So, you know, she was on the verge of a little breakdown, and she let my father's sister and her husband adopt me and bring me to California. Now, I would have rathered stayed in the South and be with my siblings, but had it not been for my exposure to things in California, I would not be doing the job that I do or be, you know, the person who I am. But I do have a good relationship with my siblings, and I usually go out there every, you know, family reunion, and we do all that old country good stuff. This year, our family reunion has been canceled.
I know.
And that's very devastating for my family because some of us don't see each other until then physically. With my comedic career in touring, though, I usually get to see my, you know, them during the year, but, you know, that's come to a halt right now. And I'm glad for my upbringing in Oakland, California, because that is where I started any of I started doing theater in the Bay Area in Oakland. And from theater, I got into film and television, and I worked for a all black owned and operated television station in Oakland called the Soul Beat Television Network, which was very much like BET, but it was before BET.
Right.
And so I've never had a problem, you know, sitting talking, which of course has helped me with doing my YouTube show.
And so speaking of that, you graduated with a BA in English Literature from Cal State Hayward. Talk to us, Lunell, about how education is important and how that helped you along your journey to get into where you are now.
Well, a lot of people, and being an English major is great for me because I'm a beast when it comes to letter writing. When I got incarcerated that one time, I was the one who, well, I got incarcerated more than once, but for the longest extended time, I was the one who would write the letters to the judge for other inmates, you know, in exchange for commissary. I am glad to be able to be literate because when it comes to talking to these white folk, you know, I don't have to say, no, I mean, no, I'm saying, no, I mean, no, I'm saying, and I know how to speak, you know. Black people are bilingual. We know how to turn it on for the other folk, and we know how to talk amongst ourselves. So I also, you know, will at some point be writing a book, and I'm quite capable of doing that. And I also am glad to have been had an education because a lot of people that want to go into entertainment, they really are educationally illiterate. They don't memorize well, they don't comprehend well, and yet you want to be on television where they have no idea the amount of reading that it takes to read an entire script, to do a table read in front of other people, to be able to deliver lines and take direction and deliver lines the way the writer wanted it and the way the director wanted it to be delivered. You know, you literally cannot be uneducated and be on television unless you're on a reality show. No shade to reality shows, but they just aren't scripted. They're not scripted. And so to be on prime time, to be a television host, to be a actor, you must be educated. Plus, that will help you when you have to talk to the police or the court or anything like that. It helps if you have a vernacular that is comprehensive to the enemy who is who you're talking to.
Yes, I love that. Thanks for dropping those gems, Auntie. We appreciate that.
I got you, niece.
So you moved to LA from Oakland.
Your background matches my dress, by the way. Look at that.
Oh, I love that. Super cute. That's cute. So you moved to LA from Oakland over 20 years ago, where you already were like a celebrity in your own right in Oakland. People already knew who you were. You already were known for what you were doing. When you moved to LA, Lunell, what was the biggest challenge from coming from Oakland to LA? What challenges did you face when you moved here?
Well, first, I didn't know my way around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in Oakland, it's like you go this way, you turn left, turn right, whatever. But in LA, everything is north, south, east, and west. Like
Right.
you can be on East La Brea. You can have like 15855 East La Brea or 15855 South. North La Brea or South La Brea. Two different areas. If you
Right.
don't know the area that you're going to. So Laura Hayes, who I'm on TV with tonight, we're going to talk about that. Laura Hayes helped me learn my north, south, east, and west. And then also a big thing was that, you know, you may be the big shit in your town, but when you come to LA, you're just a small fish in a really big pond.
Yes.
Luckily for me, I knew a lot of people when I came here because of the television show that I did in Oakland. And we
Right.
used to have a thing called the Bay Area Black Comedy Competition where comics from all over, New York, Chicago, LA, Mississippi, all would come to Oakland to compete in this comedy competition. When they came to Oakland to compete, a lot of them would come on my television show. So I did know a lot of people when I came to LA. I was able to call those cards in. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I love that. And let's go on to Comic View. Did you do Comic View when you moved to LA, or when did Comic View start?
I started Comic View when I was still in Oakland.
Okay.
But then I moved to LA and I ended up doing like 9 consecutive seasons of Comic View. I did Comic View. When I first started doing Comic View, my hair wasn't even blonde. My
Wow.
hair was still dark. I know everybody thinks I'm a natural blonde, but alas, I am not. So I started it was a progression. When I started Comic View in when I was in Oakland, and when I came to LA, I continued to do it.
And how did people get on Comic View? I watched the show growing up, and I'm like, was there an audition process, or like, how did it work? How did you guys get picked or selected to be on the show?
You know, I think it was some of it was word of mouth, and I think you had to send in the old VHS tape.
Oh.
I think you had to send in tapes then, and they went from your tapes. I believe. I mean, you know, Comic View hasn't been on TV for 20 years. And one of the beasts I just got to say while I got a platform is I'm very disappointed in BET because they do not show any of the Comic View legends any shine. We don't get invited to the BET Awards. We don't get invited to do any of the skits. We don't get invited to present any awards. They ought to, and Comic View literally kept BET on the motherfucking air for over 10 years, to be clear. It was Comic View that people was watching BET for. They ought to be doing a tribute to Ronaldo Ray. They ought to be including Laura Hayes in that. They ought to be giving Comic View some throwback shine, but they don't do that. And I'm very disappointed in BET for not doing that. I've been very vocal about that because, if you know anything about me, I'm not scared.
You're not. And look, if BET is watching, BET, let's get our OG comic legends on there and represent for our Comic View.
Yeah, people want to see the host. DL was the first host. Hell, Cheryl Underwood was a host. Ricky Smiley was a host. Bruce was a host. Earthquake was a host. And you don't want to get all those people together and do some kind of special? It makes no sense. Makes no sense to me.
So maybe some people will be calling your people after this.
Well, I don't know, because I've been bitching about this for about 5 years and they ain't putting nothing together yet. So.
Well, we gonna pray. We gonna pray about that. So speaking of stand-up, prior to the pandemic, you had a residency in Las Vegas at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, along with Marsha Warfield from Night Court. Talk to us about that experience, and will you return at some point after the pandemic is over, or after we get clearance to go back? Will you go back to Las Vegas for that residency?
Well, let me just clarify. I didn't have a residency with anybody. I was just at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, the real white folks, every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Marsha Warfield was down the street at the Westgate with George Wallace. But
Okay.
that makes Marsha Warfield and me the only two Black women to have residencies in Las Vegas at that time. Now, I had a residency first at the SLS Hotel and Casino, where Eddie Griffin is still, I think, Monday, well, not right now, but
Right.
Eddie Griffin was doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Monique was doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I was doing Sunday. Then when that ended, I was able, through my agent and her hard work, they were able to give me a Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club. The blessing is that Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club is the only comedy club in Vegas that has a national television show linked to it. So I was also able to be on Jimmy Kimmel.
Right.
And that was a milestone. As far as I know, unless I've said something to discourage them during this pandemic, as far as I know, I'll be going back to Las Vegas, resuming my residency Sunday nights at 10 o'clock. It may change. I don't know, because that's one of the things that we don't know is like, how are we going to sell out? We can't sell out a club no more.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the social distancing.
Right.
And we can't sell out a club. We can't get the bonuses. We can't get the top dollar. So we're going to be taking a pay cut, which is real bummer, because I was killing it, you know. But it was very, very exciting, because you have to be a certain type of comic to be in Las Vegas. I never thought they would give me the opportunity to be in Las Vegas, but they did. And, you know, you have to be able to not just do comedy for Black folk, because the people that's coming to see you are tourists. They're coming from everywhere. Some people may have just seen you, and they may come from Switzerland, and they don't understand no English. But you have to be able to you have to be flashy and beautiful and entertaining and all that kind of stuff. So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience, and I hope that we can continue. As far as I know, that's going to continue.
So stand up to films. You've been featured in a lot of films, Miss Lunell, including Borat, which you were in 2006, and then A Star Is Born more recently. I love that film, and you got to reunite with Bradley Cooper, which you worked with him before. And what was it?
It was called All About Steve. It was a Sandra Bullock film. Yeah.
Yes, you guys reunited for that film. And you also worked with Gaga on the video with Beyonce. Talk to us about, you were handpicked, you were selected for this film along with 3 other comedians. Talk to us about that film. It was a small role, but it was a very important role in that movie. Talk to us a little bit about that experience, working with Bradley again in that movie.
Oh, they kind of go in there, somebody being nasty on your page, or they talking trash. I don't know what they're talking trash about, but they going in. That'd be nice. Bradley Cooper and I met on the set of All About Steve, Sandra Bullock film, along with Ken Jeong as well. Mm-hmm. Who you know now from The Masked Singer and from the Hangover movies and all that kind of stuff. Bradley is a really stand-up guy. Wonderful, wonderful guy. Very, very nice. Very, very wonderful. And he did pick 4 of us because he likes comedians. So it was Eddie Griffin, myself, Dave Chappelle, and Andrew Dice Clay that got to be in A Star Is Born. And The Star Is Born and Borat were both nominated for Academy Awards.
Academy Awards, yes.
Yeah, so I'm very pleased about that. The fact that I got to work with Gaga twice is amazing too, because the telephone video with her and Beyonce, which I had to audition for that and got that. That was really great. And then I got to work with her in the Star One tiny role. But the thing about it is, it's like what I found out through that is it doesn't matter how small your role is or how big your role is. It matters how big the picture is. Right. You know, you can have a big, big role in a shitty ass picture and you just got a big role in a shitty picture. Or you can have a tiny, tiny role in a gargantuan picture and that will, get you the interviews and the attention. So I had a tiny, tiny role, but it was a speaking role and I still got paid and I continue to get paid to this day.
Hello, as you should, because you deliver as the queen does. So moving along to Dolomite Is My Name, it came out last year. It premiered at the Toronto Film Festival, and then it premiered to the public on Netflix. You played Rudy Ray's aunt, who loaned him money for his first record to record his first album. Talk to us about that process, because you actually auditioned 6 times, but for the role of Lady Reed. So you ultimately ended up being Rudy Ray's aunt, and you knew him. But talk to us a little bit about that process in that movie.
I'm going to show you something, too.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a call. I worked with Rudy Ray Moore many, many years ago. For about 5 or 6 or 7 shows, we became friends. One of the things that I know that Rudy Ray Moore wanted was to not be forgotten. I know that. Then when I got an audition for Dolomite, I was like, who's doing a movie about Dolomite? Like, are you serious? But yes, they were very, very serious. And I did audition 7 times, actually, for Craig Brewer, who had done Hustle and Flow before. He did Dolomite, and subsequently he ended up doing Coming to America. The best thing about Dolomite for me was this.
Oh, yeah, yes. Eddie Murphy, I love it. I love it. Love that. Yes.
Yeah, Eddie and I had been friends before, because I had been very, very friendly with his brother Charlie, the late Charlie Murphy, rest in peace.
Yes.
And Charlie and I had made movies together. Charlie and I had done comedy together. I had been a big supporter of the Black and Brown Comedy Get Down that Charlie was a part of with George Lopez and Cedric the Entertainer and Eddie Griffin. And so I had met Eddie before, and in several social settings. That picture right there was taken in a club. Had I not met Eddie before, I would have totally nutted the hell up, and lost my shit, because it is Eddie Murphy after all. But I wasn't that freaked out, because we already had a relationship. The fact that I had auditioned for Queen Bee's role and didn't get it was okay, because the director could have said, well, thanks. And probably had to decline her. I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. I would have freaked out and passed out, but Eddie and I already knew each other, but I didn't get the role of Queen Bee, but I got the role of his aunt, and I didn't have to share it with other people in the scene.
Yeah.
In the scene, it was just he and I. And it was wonderful, and it was amazing. Then to work with him in Coming to America, the quest made us even closer. So now, I'm one of those few privileged people. I've been to the crib for the fight party. Yes, and, that was like, going to, that was like,
Spill some tea. Auntie, what happened at the party?
Well, at the fight party, I went there for a fight, like the last big fight they had, and Eddie loves boxing, and so he had a fight party. So I had like LL Cool J and his wife to my right, and Sugar Ray Leonard to my left, and a couple of castmates from Coming to America, and it was a trip watching Sugar Ray watch a fight. Like, I was like, this is like, I'm out of body. And, Eddie had the chef, and we had all the kind of fight stuff, chili dogs and nachos and all this kind of stuff. And it was amazing. I can't wait to get back up there again. His place is it's like going to the Louvre Museum. It's massive. It's a compound. It was just out of body. I'm very happy to be invited, and I did have to get an invite through another person. I had to follow somebody up and go through this gate and go past this guard and put in this code, and then whoosh, the gates open and I was in heaven. So it was wonderful. I can't wait to go again.
Wow. And speaking of Eddie Murphy, you guys, like you said, are reuniting for Coming to America. You did not have to audition for that role. Can you tell us anything about your role specifically, or a little hint at something about what you'll be playing?
I can't tell you about my role. But what I will tell you is 5 things. Number
Okay.
one, you do not have to worry if this is as good as the last one. It's better.
Oh, okay.
Number two, it is the best movie making experience I've ever had, and I've had some good ones because we got to shoot on the old and new Tyler Perry studios, where you're in the van, and over here is the Whoopi Goldberg soundstage. Over here is the Halle Berry soundstage, and over here is the Oprah Winfrey soundstage, and over here is the Ossie Davis, Ruby D. It was like, it was so prideful and so beautiful and so black. And I got to go to Maxineville, which is where he does all the shootings of homes and stuff. He named it after his mother. I got to see the White House that they shoot the Oval at. I got to see he's got a ship on. I've got all that in my phone, and I may do a behind the scenes when just of the studio stuff, because I can't. That's the other thing. I've got a phone full of pictures from Coming to America that I've had to sit on for almost a year. It's giving me a hemorrhoid not being able to post those pictures. But also to be able to work with, when you're sitting on the couch or on the bed 30 years ago watching Coming to America, you don't think that there's going to be a sequel 30 years later. You surely don't think that you're going to be in it. So, when they say God has bigger plans for you than you could ever dream for yourself, it's true. And to be able to work and become friends with John Amos, and to work with Vanessa Bell Calloway, who was in Harriet, of course, and so many other things, to work alongside, Wesley Snipes and so many others that I cannot name, to work with the great Ruth Carter, who's the first Black woman to win the Oscar for wardrobe because she did Black Panther, all that stuff. That's Ruth Carter. And to know her, to have her phone number, to have worn, seen the outfits that she's created from fabrics that we've never even seen before.
Wow.
Fabric from Egypt. This shit is so regal and so beautiful and so breathtaking. It's going to fuck you up. And then to also have my daughter, who is a dancer, audition and get cast in the movie dancing, and to be able to be choreographed by the great Fatima Robinson.
Yes.
It's beyond. It's beyond. So have no fear, people. I would not let you down. I don't fake and I don't blow smoke. I wouldn't say, oh, this is a great movie and it end up being okay. No, this is a great, epic film, and I cannot wait. I'm anticipating its release along and a Aretha Franklin movie too. But Jennifer Holiday is gonna. I mean Jennifer Hudson is.
Wait, yeah. Auntie, are you in that movie too?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were giving us a little exclusive. I was about to say, wait a minute.
No, I do have a. I did know the Queen though. Look, I got so many pictures here.
Show us. I'm here for. Oh, look at Miss Aretha. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is like legendary to have that in your home on the wall. That's like a blessing.
It is.
Okay.
You getting the scoop-de-doop. I ain't showing nobody else none of these pictures. What I'm showing you, baby. But you know what you do? You do your research, and I'm glad, because I don't like people be like, how'd you get started in comedy? Is that same old bullshit? But you really did your research, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Auntie. That means the world to me. I appreciate you.
It should, because I don't blow smoke up people's ass at all.
I know you don't. Believe me, I know. So you made history as the first ever African-American woman over 40 to pose for Penthouse magazine in a spread entitled, Hey Lunell. Talk to us about what inspired you to do that, because I feel like that spread inspired so many women, not just women over 40, but I feel like it inspired women of all body types to just embrace their bodies and who they are. Talk to us a little bit about that.
I do have a picture of Michael Jackson in the living room. I'm getting back up, but next time.
Wait, so you have to show us that before we get off.
Michael?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I had actually been able to direct a photo shoot for Penthouse.
Mm-hmm.
They said any of your fantasies that you want, we can make them come true. We can get you a mansion. We can get the models that you want. Da 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 da. So I actually have the making of this whole Penthouse spread in a mini-sode on my YouTube channel. We just dropped it on Monday.
Okay.
On Monday, yeah, we just dropped it on Sunday or Monday, and you get to see the whole behind the scenes. But I was I was directing a photo shoot, and then I just casually walking out, I said, you know, you guys ought to shoot me. And most people would have been like, girl, bye with your old fat ass. Ain't nobody trying to shoot you. But they didn't do that. They were like, well, let's talk about it. And it was very tastefully done.
Yes.
I didn't bust it open for Penthouse like I was on Pornhub or something, because
right.
I have 4 brothers. They wouldn't appreciate it. I had a daughter in college, and I wasn't doing that. But these were sexy, tastefully done photos.
Yes.
And look, talk about Al B. Sure texting me while I'm talking to you, girl. Hey,
what? Wait a minute.
And so anyway, I know I had to name drop that one. But I'm very proud of it. I felt like you're beautiful no matter how dark you are, no matter how fat you are, no matter how old you are. You're lucky to be the fuck alive. Yes. And you should embrace whatever it is. You know, I was thick when my husband met me. I'm going on 20 years now with this ring on it. And I mean, everybody's got their insecurities, but if you can love the shit about you more than you hate the shit about you,
right, then
you can like sort of be an inspiration to others. Now, I would have thought that I would have got more shine for that, and I would have thought that I would have inspired some other people. I don't know whether I did or not. Well, I thank you. And if you guys are interested in seeing what we're talking about, go to Hey Lunell. We'll talk about it toward the end of the interview. Go to Hey Lunell, and or just go to my Instagram and click the link in the bio, and you can go and you can see the episode about the making of a Penthouse pet. But it was very tastefully done, and I had you know, some of the best people in Hollywood working on the sets, and built the sets and the tubs and the beds and the satin sheets and all that. It was fun.
I loved it. You and Shaka Khan recently got together for a peaceful protest on Mother's Day to bring awareness to the unfortunate killing of Ahmaud Arbery. Tell us a little bit about why you two got together for the protest, and why it was important for you all to have other moms who also lost their children to gun violence there as well.
Very sensitive subject for me, being a mother. I want to share this with the people right here. You know, I got pictures to go with everything. Here's me and Shaka Khan.
Yes.
On Mother's Day.
Yes.
You know, and here's us as well with our hashtag enough is enough.
Yes. I mean, it brought such an energy on social media when we saw it, you guys out there, because again, we had to lose another unarmed Black man to senseless violence. So talk to us a little bit about why you guys decided to partner to do the protest. And it was a peaceful protest. Let's also make that clear. It was a peaceful protest.
Yeah, luckily. Well, you see this list?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
These are all dead Black people.
Right.
I didn't have to dig in a file. I didn't have to go hunt it down. I keep this on my desk. Mm-hmm. You know, we become so desensitized, you know, desensitized. We watch people being murdered on Instagram like it's a fucking television show.
Right.
You know, Mother's Day was a nice day for me, but it was a horrible day for lots of mothers out there whose children have been murdered for no shooting to wound you and stop you. These police are shooting to kill. And it's not
Right.
just the police, it's, it's white folks.
Right.
There's a lot of black on black crime. That's a whole nother subject. We're talking about the racial murder, racially motivated murders right now. And I had just had it. I had had enough. We're so nonchalant. Like if there was somebody laying dead in front of the grocery store, we would step over them and go in the grocery store. We've just lost our compassion. We've lost our heart. And these are our people. If they kill somebody else's son in the street, that's like you killed my son. And it could be any of you guys' sons or husbands just going to the store for you, minding your business.
Right.
Nobody is safe. We are a hunted community right now. We are at war, whether you want to wake up and know it or not.
Right.
We have a president of the United Shades of America who is declaring war on us. And his whole mantra is kill as many niggas as you can, get some Mexicans and some Chinese along the way. And the white folks said, thank God. Thank God we got somebody that feels the way we do. We can go out and pick these niggas off now like an apple off a tree. And that's the way it is. And I'm not sugarcoating it. And I'm not saying it nice and kind. I'm calling it what the fuck it is. And we have got to wake up, people. I came from Oakland where the Black Panthers was not a radical group. Yes, they was armed, but they was legally armed. The Black Panthers would walk women to class so they didn't have to walk by themselves. They'd walk women into their job so they didn't have to walk by themselves. They were feeding kids in the morning. You can't believe all the rhetoric that the people put out. If you watch the news every day, you're fucking fooled too, because the news, they just putting out there what they want you to believe and brainwashing you. The first rumor they had about COVID-19 is that Black folks couldn't get it. So that we were the last ones that would take precautions and would get it. We've got to become involved. Fuck, everybody hates voting, blah, 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 but we've got to fucking vote.
Right.
We have ancestors that died for that. That's like spitting on the graves of our ancestors. And don't bitch because Jamal has an all-white jury because your black ass didn't want to go to jury duty. We've got to do that too. We got to get involved. We got to wake the fuck up. We have to find out what the ADOS is, American Descendants of Slaves. We got to vote and fight for our fucking reparations. The Indians got casinos. The Jews are getting reparations, but we ain't got shit. A $1,200 stimulus check that by the time you got the shit, you were so upset you went out and bought a bag of weed and an 8-ball and fucking a pint, and then the shit gone. So what the fuck is $1,200 gonna do? Ain't gonna do shit. It didn't help nobody. It didn't help nobody save their business. It didn't help nobody. You might have paid the rent. You didn't pay the lights. You didn't pay the cable. You didn't pay the water. You didn't buy no food. So we got to wake up. And, some of these black women out here that felt me, one of them was Chaka Khan.
Yes.
And she's the one who said we should wear military clothing and camouflage stuff to show that we're not fucking around. We should meet somewhere and ask the mothers to join us. I organized it. We did it in 4 fucking days. It doesn't take 6 months worth of planning just to make an impact. I've got to use this mouth for more than just talking about dicks and pussies and food and fat and making people laugh. Now, somebody wrote on my page the other day, they were like, Lunell, I didn't come on your page for all this political shit. I came on your page to laugh. People need to stay in their lane. Well, black people are my lane, number one. And I asked that person that if I was not their cup of tea, they could feel free to, I'm not going to block anybody, but you get the fuck off. Why don't you get off my page? You step the hell away, and do your own thing. But I'm going to do whatever the Lord puts on my heart. And so that day, Chaka and I, the legendary, iconic, Grammy Award winning Chaka Khan, got with little black me, and we raised our fists in the park and we spoke to the people. And I'm not through. I would be a media whore if I just wanted to take pictures with Chaka Khan and now I'm done. That didn't do shit. I'm now taking meetings. I'm now talking to people. Jennifer Lewis I'm going to call her back. You know, she just called me right before this and I told her I had an interview. We've got to listen to each other. We've got to love each other. We are a regal, queenly, royal people. We've got to have more people like you, women producers and directors. We got to get off this shit that twerking on the Instagram is going to make us famous. And it's you young people are the ones that are going to have to step the fuck up, become the next lawyers, become the next doctors, get us off these pills, get us back to the earth. We got shit in our kitchen that will cure the diseases that we have if you can get off these pills that the white man wants you to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on every motherfucking month. We've got to wake up at some point. So I was feeling that in that moment, and I was felt, and that's how me and Chaka was able to do that. We're not through. Let me just say that. We're not done.
That's what I was going to ask. You guys are going to continue with the Enough is Enough initiative?
Yes, yes. Enough is enough is our hashtag. If you're sick of the bullshit and you wanna see change, you can start there. Just start with that hashtag. And then I'm learning stuff. The ADOS is teaching me things that I did not know. I'm going to spread the word with that. I'm trying to get Dr. Sabi's son was at my house last Thursday, and I got a whole slew of vitamins and tonics that I'm now taking. My husband has COPD. He's starting to take that stuff. You know, we can cure ourselves. We need to listen to each other and quit hating and stop with this bullshit that is mind control, that is planted in us. The grab. If there's one thing that you better know right now is that your fucking Gucci bag and your shades and your shoes don't mean shit right now. What means shit right now is that you are lucky enough to have a roof over your head. You are lucky enough to have running water. You are lucky enough to have food in your refrigerator. Lucky enough to be able to reach out to friends. That's what matters right now. And we need to all wake up and get together in small little groups and start talking. Let's start having the conversation. Just like when we elected Obama, we started in little back rooms of churches and little back rooms of people's houses and having meetings and let's talk. And everything ain't for the fucking gram either.
Right. Oh, Auntie, you know what? You just preached for us.
This is me with no alcohol, no edibles, and no weed. But I'm gonna need a drink after I get off here.
Auntie, thank you so much for just your energy, for your knowledge, for your wisdom. Thank you for just taking the time to impart upon us everything that you have done and what you've learned. We appreciate you, Queen. And before you go, you got to show us the Michael Jackson picture. So let us see that before you get off of the live.
Okay.
Today. Okay.
And I just want to say once again, please follow me on Instagram. Click the link in the bio. Subscribe to my show. I go on in 2 hours here in LA. If you DM me, tell me that you heard me on here on Where is the Buzz TV, and I will write you back. And also, you know, just be nicer to one another, more compassionate to one another. Now, I took this picture. I'm not in the picture.
Okay.
I took this picture. I don't know why somebody said MJ. Hi, Ladybug. Okay, and so here's MJ. Oh shit. Okay.
Ooh, oh my good. Where did you take this picture? Where was he? Oh my God.
At a pre-Grammy celebration.
You have all of look. I need to come over your house, Auntie. After Corona.
It is a bit of a museum in here. I got everybody I got the Whispers over there, and I got Eddie over there, and I got all kind of people all around the place. Well, but I want to be like rich people and get all my frames in one what you call it, in symmetrical order, because right now some of them came from Rite Aid, some of them came from Walgreens.
That's okay. As
And
long
they
as
all
we
look
doing
different, but
right.
I want to get them all pretty one day. You see all these pictures and stuff like that.
Wow. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Auntie, for this. You have been a joy to my heart today. So I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much.
I thank you for giving me the time on your platform. You keep doing what you're doing. Read some of these comments, and everybody is hopefully supporting everybody, and block the nonsense and don't listen to any of that, and just know that you out there, you can make a fucking change. You don't have to wait for a rally. You don't have to wait for nobody. You can make a change. Just be nice to somebody, because we need each other right now, baby, because we are at war. And if you don't believe it, just watch.
Thank you so much, Auntie. We'll be following and watching your interview later at 3, right? It's at 3?
Yes, at 3 o'clock California time. And I'm going to put on a bra because I haven't had on a bra for over an hour since March.
I love it. I love
But
it.
I had to end on a funny note because I've been so
Okay.
crazy. I had to end on something funny.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.